Welcome to the November 25th edition of the CBG show. I'm Amar Khan.
Chris Brentlinger Grant over here.
Let's get started. We learned yesterday that legendary hockey coach Pat Quinn passed away after a long battle with an illness. Our wishes are with his family and the Vancouver Canucks organization, whom Pat had a long withstanding relationship with. We know somewhere up there, Pat Quinn is smoking a cigar for all of us.
In hockey scores, the NHL's fiercest rivalry featuring the Montreal Canadiens and Boston Bruins happened on Saturday. The Canadiens shut him out 2-0. Andrei Markov scored halfway through the first, and Thomas Plekanec added the insurance later in the third. The winner in Montreal, their second shutout of the season against the Bruins, as Carey Price stopped all 33 shots he faced. Montreal has now won 9 of their past 10 games against Boston.
We move to Dallas, Texas for the next game, where the hometown Dallas Stars escaped with a 5-4 win against the defending Stanley Cup champions Los Angeles Kings. Jamie Benn stepped up early as his second goal came with just 2 seconds left in the first period. John Klingberg also scored in the frame to put the Stars up 3-0. The second had a ton of goals scored, but the Stars still led 5-3 heading to the third. LA got a goal midway through the third from Justin Williams, but Kari Lehtinen slammed the door shut from there, securing a big win for Big D. Lehtinen also had the highlight of the game where he made a gorgeous pass to Tyler. I buy 26 cans of wintergreen Sagan in the second. Make sure to check that one out.
The man known as Scoreface in Calgary, Curtis Glencross, helped his Flames continue their winning ways against the New Jersey Devils later that evening. Glencross scored twice in the game, but none was more exciting than his goal to force overtime with just 5 seconds left in the game. Nothing was solved in OT, so we moved to the shootout where Sean Moneyhands Monahan and Yuri Hudler scored past Corey Schneider. Flames goaltender Kari Ramos stopped 3 of the 4 Devil shooters he faced.
In Sunday night action, the Vancouver Canucks honored Daniel Sedin before their game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Sedin was playing his 1,000th career game, all coming with Vancouver. It was a game of first as Jannik Hansen had his first career hat-trick and Bo Horvat had his first multi-point game of his young career as the Canucks won 4-1. Vancouver continues to dazzle this season while the Hawks can't seem to string a few games together.
We've got some interesting matchups for you kicking off this weekend with a pair of Tuesday games when the Vancouver Canucks welcome back goaltender Corey Schneider in his first appearance since being dealt for a draft pick in 2013, who later ended up being Bo Horvat. Then, the upstart Calgary Flames will take on the seasoned Anaheim Ducks in sunny California. Then Wednesday night we've got the Detroit Red Wings hosting the Broad Street Bullies. My game to watch Wednesday is the return of Martin Saint-Louis to Tampa Bay as a visitor. Saint-Louis will be playing his first game in Tampa after being scrutinized heavily for the manner in which he was left out after Steve Yzerman chose to exclude him off of the list of Canadian players going to Sochi. He'll also have the opportunity to pick up his 1,000th career point as he currently sits at 998.
Now moving to some basketball action, the Toronto Raptors systematically picked apart the youthful Milwaukee Bucks 124-82 on Friday. The Raptors poured it on as they outscored the Bucks 71-45 in the first half, and from there it was smooth sailing. Toronto won the game on the glass as they out-rebounded Milwaukee by 20.
Our classic show Andrew Wiggins update now. Wiggins scored 29 points while also playing a career high in minutes in a loss to Sacramento on Saturday. The Kings were led by DeMarcus Cousins, who had 31 points and 18 big rebounds. Wiggins will be getting more touches of the ball and look for his scoring numbers to go up as Kevin Martin, the team's leading scorer, is scheduled to miss upwards of the next 6 weeks with a gruesome wrist injury.
The Raptors were back in action Monday hosting the Phoenix Suns at the Air Canada Centre. It was my favorite Raptor, Jonas Valanciunas, coming up huge as he scored a game-high 27 points of just 11 shots. JV also added 10 boards for the double-double as the Raptors eked out a close one, 104-100. The Raptors now sit first, yes, first in the conference, tied for the league lead at 12-2.
There's some great hoop action coming up this week, featuring games on Wednesday night when Andrew Wiggins' Minnesota Timberwolves will travel to Milwaukee to take on Jabari Parker and his Milwaukee Bucks. This will be a fun one between 2 early Rookie of the Year candidates. Wednesday also sees the Cleveland Cavaliers looking to enact a matter of revenge against the Washington Wizards after they were thumped 91-79 this past Friday in Washington. The Cavs are struggling with a record of 6-7, while Washington sits second in the conference to our beloved Raptors with a tremendous 9-3 record.
Football?
Transition.
Monday night, we had 2 games in the NFL. The first was between the Buffalo Bills and New York Jets in Detroit. As many of you know, the game was moved to Detroit from Buffalo because of all that snow that fell in western New York over the past week. Fans were given free admission to this game, and boy, did they see a slaughter fest. The Bills won 38-3, and they kept their playoff hopes alive, improving to 6-5. The Jets meanwhile slipped to 2-9 and have a real chance of getting the number 1 pick in this April's NFL draft. I really can't see a scenario where Rex Ryan still has a job for the Jets at the end of the season.
The other game was a much better one. It saw the Baltimore Ravens take on the Saints in New Orleans at the Louisiana Superdome. Usually, Drew Brees and the Saints look invincible at home, but recently, they haven't so much. Joe Flacco and his Ravens came in and got the win, 34-27. Journeyman running back Justin Forsett had an absolutely monstrous game for Baltimore. He finished with 182 yards on the ground to go along with 2 touchdowns. With the win, Baltimore improved to 7-4 and put themselves in a better position to make the playoffs for the first time since they won the Super Bowl back in 2013. New Orleans is now a disappointing 4-7, but it's all about location, I guess. New Orleans is still ludicrously tied for first place in the NFC South with Atlanta, with matching 4-7 records.
Closer to home, the Seattle Seahawks had a tough test when they hosted the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona came to the game with the best record in the league at 9-1, but Seattle in the Legion of Boom kept the Cardinals to only 3 points all game. Cooper Helfet scored the only touchdown of the game off of a screen pass from Russell Wilson in the third quarter. Seattle won this defensive slugfest 19-3 to essentially keep their playoff aspirations alive. Next up for Seattle will be when they take on the San Francisco 49ers on Thanksgiving night on NBC. This will be the first time the teams play each other since the Seahawks won the NFC Championship game in January. Watch this game, guys. Trust us.
Boy, do we have some great games coming up this week. Philadelphia and Dallas will play on Thanksgiving Thursday at Jerry's World in Big D. The teams play twice over the next 3 weeks, and they're the only teams that have realistic shots at winning the NFC East this year. New England will travel to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field in Green Bay on Sunday night to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. These teams are number 1 and 2 in our show's current NFL power rankings. Even though we don't like him, everyone knows that Tom Brady is elite. This is perhaps the marquee matchup of the entire season. Aaron Rodgers versus Brady. Fireworks? Woo.
That does it for us here at the CBG show. I'm Amar Khan.
Chris Brentlinger Grant.
And we'll see you next time.